Hi there.
Hi.
We're live. Um, so another iBook Bindings live stream, and we have some interesting stuff to talk about today. I wanted to share some updates with one of the iBook Bindings tools I made recently, and I visited a fine binding exhibition in Paris last week, and also we have a short teaser of our holiday special podcast episode. So a lot of stuff. Once again, I know it sounds like a joke. Once again, we will try to talk about news a bit. Maybe not news anymore, but olds, I guess, or something. We'll see how it goes. Probably we'll have time for that. As usual, we're happy to see everyone here. If you would like to leave a comment and to say from where you are joining us, that would be nice. If you have any questions about the things we are discussing or about anything else bookish related, book related, please leave a comment. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. You can leave a comment in any of these places. There's also a Discord channel, but I don't think we'll be able to follow the discussion there if there is anything. But anyway, join the Discord channel as well. The link is down below the YouTube video and somewhere around you on Facebook. I'm not sure where, but it should be in the description somehow. Join us on Patreon. We had several new patrons members on Patreon joining us these past 2 weeks, so that's great. And once again, it helps us a lot to produce our podcast, because we pay for editing of the videos of the podcast with the money we get from our patrons. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot to our patrons, and please consider joining. Pledges start with only $1 or €1 per month, so hopefully it's not very much, but every pledge helps us quite a lot. So that's it, Pavel. I was talking so much, and you were sort of preparing for the news section that we won't get to. How are you today?
Oh, it's okay. It's almost New Year. My partner is coming back from Canada, so I'm getting better and better every day.
Every day, and we are
So,
coming to Moscow as well.
yeah, it's gonna be a great New Year.
So maybe
Can't
we'll have
wait.
a chance to record a joint episode once again. Well, it wasn't an episode that we recorded this summer, but well, just a short video or something. Um, Glad to hear that, and a lot of great news and holiday mood, and once again, a holiday special we recorded was quite fun and quite interesting. So I hope our viewers will like the teaser we're planning to show today. Should we proceed with the tools? I guess I with the
Yeah,
stuff I
yeah, yeah.
wanted to talk about.
Can't wait because I don't know what you're going to show
Yeah.
for once. Yeah.
It won't be for long. So if you came here for the discussion of the exhibition of Louise Bescond, just stay with us for some time, and we'll switch to it pretty soon. But it's just something I wanted to share with you, because it sort of shows how the development process of fiber binding tools goes, and the constant process of improving the designs, which is, I think, quite important. So I will need to. I guess I'll ask Pavel to talk just a bit, and I will need to switch a couple of things.
So last time we discussed your new corner clamps, which was exciting. I forgot to send you. I made a few suggestions of what you could make with them. I really like the mathematical nature of it all, because
Yeah.
if you have so many different angles to play with, I spent a whole evening drawing various designs, and it's a holiday season, so many boxes I needed.
Absolutely, yeah. So here we are. Sorry for the truncated in which in the beginning I will show a short video that I received from one of iBookBinding customers, and then I'll be able to talk a bit more about the process. So there was this is our classic punching cradle, which is used for punching holes in the sections, so that all the sections will be sewn accurately with the row of stitching in a single place. And this customer of ours told me that she had to punch a lot of sections over the short period of time, and maybe with a bit too much force, I guess, or something. So she was able to punch through the cradle, and I will probably show it here as well. So there is the distance from the bottom of the cradle, bottom part, this groove of the cradle to the bottom isn't really high. And the thing is that
sorry, and what's the idea behind the groove? Why do you need that?
So if there is no groove, when you use your awl to punch through a section, it will just go. It will reach the bottom, and where is solid plastic or a layer of plastic, and it will punch through or start damaging it. So obviously, it seems to help a lot of buyers, because this is really the first time I received a complaint like that. But I decided to take action and make the design a bit better, and that's it happened also not only because the distance is not very long between the bottom of the groove and the bottom of the cradle, but also because the tool inside is almost empty. So the walls are printed. The walls are, I don't know, 1 millimeter thick or something like that. But inside, it's almost empty. There are some special structures. There is a mesh of sorts that allows to support upper layers of plastic. But other than that, it's empty, and that's why between the bottom part of the groove and the bottom of the cradle, there is some air inside, and that's why this person was able to punch through the cradle down to the very bottom. And I'll continue with the video, and here are some renders how it goes. And so the idea is pretty obvious, I guess. I just it stopped. No, it just glitched. I just added some additional layers inside, so the area, the volume under the groove is now solid, and it will be much harder to punch through it. I guess you will have to drill through it, and because of the direction of printing and the orientation of the tool. It shouldn't split horizontally or vertically or in any way. So hopefully this update will help to avoid this mess that happened with at least a single tool. And in the future, I was sure there would be no sound there. Sorry, that's my printer's working. So. That's how it works now, and these are two versions of the tool. You wouldn't really see any difference from the outside. They're just looking the same. All the changes are on the inside, and that's it.
That's really interesting. Could you talk a bit about how long it takes for you to redesign a tool and what it involves?
Well, it depends, because I guess I had an interesting thing somewhere here. No, it's far away. So sometimes I receive requests to design, for example, specialized guides for these tools, and with some special distances. And for example, Currently, the smallest distance between the holes is 5 millimeters or quarter of an inch, which is pretty close to 5 millimeters. And I can't really go smaller because then the walls between the holes wouldn't be strong enough, and the whole structure will be compromised. I can make the holes smaller, but then there will be issues with the all sizes and all that stuff. So sometimes I just a couple of weeks ago or a bit earlier, I received a request to create a guide that will have distances 1.25 inches from the top, then 1 inch, then 1.25, 1 inch, 1.25, and so on and so on. And this redesign was quite simple and quite fast. I charged something like 15 euros for it, and well, obviously I have to charge for redesigns like that because it's additional work. And it didn't take much time because the person who requested this redesign asked or offered me not to make any numbers, not to place any numbers on the surface, because that's one of the things that takes quite a lot of time to process. But things like this update I talked about a bit earlier with the Girdle, it didn't really take much. It's just, I don't know, a couple of minutes per each size, but there are like 6 sizes and 4 types of the tool at the moment, so you need to make modifications in I don't know, 30-40 files in total, so 5 minutes each, but when you multiply it, it becomes a tedious job. So I usually update them one by one when an order comes to a new for a new tool of select size and version. I'll update it, and I will just proceed printing the new version from that moment. So it really depends on the type of work and design work needed to be done. That's it for these updates. If you have any questions, as usual, please send them to us. And okay, Pavel, if you pick up for a moment, my Facebook page glitched.
I thought you were checking the comments because I'm following those. And so the next fragment we'll have is about the exhibition, I assume.
Yeah, and then we'll share the our holiday special teaser. Is the stream working on Facebook? Because I had some glitches and.
Let me check. I don't know. It's how does one check that? Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, because Facebook told me that I'm temporarily blocked out of using some of the features, and well, it happened a while ago. So if the stream dropped, we would notice by now. But if you will be able to check in a couple of minutes, it would be nice as well. So the next part is the main topic of our today's live stream, and that's an exhibition that I visited last week, and that's still quite active and available for visits in Paris. And here it is. So it's a personal exhibition that was organized by Louise Bescond, bookbinder, a French bookbinder who lives and works in Belgium, and by the antique bookshop Librairie Métamorphoses or something like that, and yeah, Librairie Métamorphoses. And Yeah, it's not far from me, and I decided to visit it, especially as I didn't have an opportunity to visit a lot of bookish exhibitions and events as of lately, and even fewer, I guess, since we moved to France, because it was just I spent so much time organizing and moving business, and I guess I'll start the video, and we'll be discussing the books along the side, and sometimes I will probably stop it. So not all the books that are exhibited there are shown here, but anyway. And the exhibition is open until the end of December. So if you happen to be in Paris or in the area, just go there. It's in the central part of Paris, and yeah.
Where exactly? Is it like some kind of museum or workshop?
It's a bookshop. It's a bookshop, Librairie Métamorphoses, and the address is 17 Rue Jacob, 17 Rue Jacob, I guess Jacob, or yeah. We'll butcher a lot of names and all that stuff today, because while I'm studying French, it's often hard to get the pronunciation right. So the first one is a binding of an illustrated letter from Jean Miro, a letter to Jean Lemarie, and yeah, I'll have to stop it from time to time, and so classic binding, blue tinted calfskin, screen printed in black with all these patterns, and gold tooled by Claude Rival, and I think yeah. I didn't check all the books in the catalog, because the catalog is quite nice, and I guess we'll switch back to our larger heads a bit later, and I will talk a bit about the catalog. But all the bindings that I checked were tooled by Claude Ribal, by the same person, and all the bindings where there is edge gilding were gilded also by the same person, by Jean-Luc Bongrain. And that's something that Louise talked about during a live stream on Instagram that she did a week before the exhibition opened, or something like that. And well, Pavel, if you will post a link to her Instagram account, that would be really nice, because perfect. So she talked that she wants to make all the things that she makes perfect, but she understands the limits of her abilities, and some things she prefers to pass to professionals who would be able to make them perfect. And title tooling and edge gilding are two of these things, and they are done by different persons. So that's an interesting approach, and I guess it resonates a bit in some ways with some things we discussed on our podcast earlier, and differs a bit from some other styles, but it's very interesting to hear about it, and to learn about it, and to see how people work in different traditions. The next slides will be showing some boxes for the books, and I really liked how they were exhibited on this in the displays on this during this exhibition, and I think it's a very smart solution and an interesting way to show the book boxes as well, and alongside with the bindings, because oftentimes they are not really exhibited well, or not exhibited at all, and that may be a bit strange, because quite often they are very special on their own. What should I add about the? Sometimes we'll be able to look inside, or at least have a glimpse inside of the books, but more often not really. So here is Anne Lee's in cream Japanese shinenbe paper, also screen printed, and blue velvet fly leaves. You can see right now in the in the photo, in the image on the screen, and
And are these books just on show, or can you actually buy them?
yeah, some of them you can buy. Some of them were taken from private collections, and yeah, I do not remember the prices. So I saw the price list, and I think
But well, what sort of range are we talking
about a half of the books are available for buying. I sort of cleared the prices out of my memory right away, because they are way out of my you know uh, how you say
price range?
Price range, I guess. Yeah, something in thousands of euros.
Yeah.
Well, that's that it just couldn't be any other way, because the work is exceptional and absolutely unique, and every book takes a lot of skill and time. It's not only about time spent on binding. It's like with scientific research, or I don't know, medical research. It's also about all the time you've spent to master your skill and to become this master of bookbinding of arts. So yeah.
I really like the 3 boxes on the left, especially the Nabokov one.
Yeah.
They look very high tech.
Yeah, there is something like that. So I really love how the boxes were displayed, and it's just a few steps. The exhibition is not very large, so there are something like 6 stands or something like that. The 2 of them are these vertical glass boxes, and 4 are horizontal stands or something like that. And so it's just a few steps from the book to the book box, and it's a smart way to make a beautiful installation out of books boxes, not just keeping them alongside the binding, where it's often lost or not noticed or something like that. But it definitely attracts attention, and so yeah, that's very smart solution. And by the way, I think it's also the photographs of this display are used in the catalog as well. So yeah, here we are.
They do look good as a set. Imagine owning that bookshelf.
Yeah. So the next one is Jean René Huguenin. Jean-René Huguenin, La Côte Sauvage, Wild Coast, and that's an edition of 12 number copies, classic binding in two colors of calfskin, white natural and red tinted. A lot of different tooling, and if you'll see a closer detail, you will see that between the writer's name and the title there is this dot which is colored into 2 colors, and leaf and red paper partially covered with white and gold leaf, something that you saw just on your screen. And yeah, striking line and striking dot in the middle.
And how do you think the texture on the book cover is achieved? Because it sparkles and it has certain depth to it. It's a peculiar thing, and it's very raw. It's like a piece of human. Human, yeah.
Human something. Yeah. So some of the bindings are tooled with plates or something, but I think it was tooled with a plate as well. Yeah. Yeah, it seems from description. I have to read both the French description and the English automatic translation of the description, because I definitely do not have enough language proficiency to be sure about the all the French words and all the stuff. But if, when you can read both of them, it helps just a bit. I think it was a start with the plate. I hope so. I hope I'm not making a mistake. Uh, um, yeah, but the reason I wanted to include not only the photos but also some videos, and unfortunately there is a bit of color difference between the two, because I edited the photos but didn't do as much editing with videos, is because almost often you cannot see all the details and the play of light on the surfaces and on the tooled areas when you are looking at photos. But with the videos, you can see the difference, and you can see how much Louise works with the surfaces, both with the covers and with the end leaves, so insides of the covers, and that's just amazing, and amazing detail and amazing just design work. Next one. Georges Perec, La vie mode d'emploi, and Life, a user's manual. So that's a box, and it's over a case, and it's covered with in natural white calfskin leather, and stamps in red and gray in this checkered pattern. And what else should I check from the description? I had a discussion recently with somebody, or we had a discussion. Oh, we had a discussion with Kate Holland during while we were recording a podcast about her Booker this year's Booker binding, and she told us sort of. I don't know, with the hesitation that she prefers to use foil instead of gold leaf or other sorts of precious metal leaves, and because it's easier to work with, it's more accessible. There are so many benefits to using foils. And I see Louise uses foils a lot as well, and well, if it allows you to achieve your artistic and creative ambitions and to implement the designs you want to create, well, why not? It's definitely a material worth using, and a material that a lot of bookbinders use. It just there is some snobbishness, I guess, from some of bookbinders who say no, it's only gold leaf and nothing else is really proper for fine binding and all that stuff. No, you should experiment with materials. But I guess for the edges, the gold leaf is used. Still, the gold leaf is used. I mean, for the Louise's books. So, what else do we have about this binding? Checkerboard, gray paper interior, four-sided compartment, titling on the back, on the sleeves, and on the chemise, and yeah, title by Claude Ribal. Beautiful. You can see I didn't make a video of this one, but here you can see that there is much more tooling there, not only the color. So the red one on the left will be the next book we're going to discuss. Michel Houellebecq, Le Carte et le Territoire, The Map and the Territory. And it has very impressive stamped surface of the covers, and I guess you can see it there. So there is a map of Cruz, of Department of Cruz, stamped over the covers. and when you look closely, it's just so stunning and striking. And even the video will not really pass the impression that book create. Calfskin tinted in a shade of red, tooled with red and orange foils, and stamped with an edge. Pavel, what do you think about the previous binding? You were silent for a moment.
I really like the textures, and again, it's maybe raw is not the word. Visceral is the word I'm looking for. No, I would be a bit scared to touch it. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's both attractive and sort of not repulsive but scary. Yeah, I like the effect.
Yeah, there will be something else in red among the books we'll show you today, and it's also quite impressive.
And with the one before that, the Manual of Modern Life, I really like how repetitive it is. I know a bit about the book, and and then I know a bit about modern life.
By the way, what's happening on Facebook? Because I still don't have access to the event, and I can see what's happening there.
It seems to be working okay. I checked if
check all the books in the catalog.
Yeah. Okay. It works, and no comments there.
Not as far as I can tell. Maybe the comments are not working.
Well, that's sad.
No, there is a comment on YouTube. Hi, Amy, but I can't decipher it. It says voy.fyi. So
I can guess what's FYI, but but the first part. Maybe maybe that's a link to to some.
Maybe it's something about Voynich manuscript. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to decipher that, or maybe Amy will help us and help us understand what was the message. So moving forward, what was next?
Yeah. Oh, I like the options for VOY on one of the dictionaries. Star Trek Voyager, Voices of Youth, and Volunteer of the Year. Whichever the one you like.
Okay. This one I loved quite a lot, and that's let me check if I'm correct. Yeah, Julian Gracq, Le Rivage de Sirte.
Could you positively?
The opposing shore. Yeah.
Because it shows the texture better when it is on pause.
So should I move back or?
Yeah. A bit closer. Yeah. Oh.
You definitely need to see this book in real life. Well, perfectly. You better need to hold it, I guess. But. Yeah. So and here is an illustration to something else that Louise talked about during her live stream on Instagram, and unfortunately this live stream wasn't saved for in highlights or something like that because it was too long. She answered some questions there, and it lasted for continued for an hour or 30 minutes, so it was quite long, and Louise was very kind to answer the questions both in French and English, so it was really great. And here is as I said, here is an illustration to something that she spoke about during the live stream, or as far as I understand, that's an illustration. That's Jean-Luc Bangrin, this edge gilding master is the last person, or one of the few, the last person in France who is able to do edge gilding on deckled edges. So usually you can see the rough edge of the book. Usually when you are doing edge painting or edge gilding or any decoration of the edge at all, you cut it, trim the edge first, then you sand it so it's perfectly plain and then smooth, and then you do the decoration, then you do the painting, then you do then you put gold leaf on it or anything like that. So here is an example of how it can be done with the deckled uneven edge, and this looks absolutely different, and it I guess it works. It works quite interesting. Yeah.
Thank you for pointing it out, because I noticed something isn't right, but I couldn't put my finger in it. And indeed, this person is probably one of those masters who spent his professional life doing one subcraft only, because I can't imagine what you need to go through to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was able to open comments, but on Facebook, but I'm not sure about anything else. I wouldn't try to proceed, but to continue and to try it more, because if Facebook decides to kick me out of the live stream, that would be a bit upsetting. So yeah, it's also very very interesting to see how this sort of edge gilding works alongside with this rough or pattern decoration of the covers and spines and and the and pages and leaves of the book. So amazing. What is next one? Max Ernst, Rêve d'une petite fille qui voulut entrer au Carmel. A little girl dreams of taking the whale. Here is the previous one in action, and just how the light shines off the different surfaces. And yeah, there is Max Ernst. Another stunning decoration of the covers, and a lot of different small details.
Yeah, a very precious looking book. It's almost like a jewel.
So from now on, I think all of the bindings that we'll show are soft bindings a la Vernier. But once again, I think all of them natural calf skin. So that's also something that works for all the bindings we show today. And natural calf skin, tinted of shades of green and lilac, I think lilac tooling, fly leaves of light green gold velvet. Also tooled with the film, and yeah, also some decoration on chemise.
By the way, what does the word chemise mean?
It's an outside protective cover, so it's not really a box, but sort of additional outside cover. Like, well, chemise is, as far as I remember, is a shirt in French. I just had a so not a t-shirt but a shirt, rubashka. I just had a sort of linguistic insight just before that. In Romanian, a shirt is kamasha. And there are lots of similar letters in kamasha as with chemise. So
So it's probably Latin, because Romanians didn't have that much contact with the outside world until recently.
Yeah. So which is this one? I think I wanted to mention another book as well. So the one on the right over here. There wasn't there. Yeah. Okay. The one on the right is Le Rat de Bois by Pierre Michon, The King of the Woods. Yeah, I was sure that I placed a photo inside of this video, but still we can see at least a part of it. Yeah, let's proceed to the next one. Michel Houellebecq, Submission. The red one that goes next, and it's covered with.
Well, we're still looking at.
It will switch in a moment. I'm just preparing you. It's covered with mashrabiyah. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. This traditional ornamental pattern you can see in some architectural designs, and stamped with an original etching, and leaves covered with white lacquered gold leaf, white gold leaf, fly leaves in red velvet gold, and you don't see the book open, but still there is edge gilding there as well. And once again, this red color is just, and the fact that the red color is not, it has shades in it. It's just makes such a different impression. Shades of splotches of lighter, patches of lighter color. I'll stop in a moment, I guess, but in the center is Venise by Paul Morin, Venices, and and we switch to the next one. So I will just slide back just a bit, and there are two more books on the sides. Yeah, I pushed this a bit because I needed, I guess, to add a full. I guess Pavel, you can guess what's the binding of the last one. I'm sorry, it's not the full photo, but you probably can guess.
You mean what's the book inside?
What's the book inside? Yeah.
With
all the stitching between the pieces of leather.
Wizard of Oz,
leather, not grain sack or something.
No idea.
It's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
That's a good one. Yeah. Does it also have bolts on the side?
I think we saw something like that while we talked to some of our. Not with who was that? I'm not sure. And once again a bit cut, but on the side, Robert Merle, I guess, Maleville. Yeah, and that's it for the books and photos. There was the last one. The last one that somehow it showed more, but let me try to. The dissolve doesn't help. Here you can see a bit more.
What's the rightmost one made of? I mean, the cover. It looks a bit like a Birchbark manuscript, but it's clearly leather.
That's true. Natural calf skin, tinted in shade of brown, and stamped with the plate. It's just stamping. Stamping with brown, black, and wild gold foils, fly leaves, sand velvet gold skin. That's just pattern.
That's a very interesting pattern. Yeah.
Very interesting pattern. That's
and
true.
Very natural looking. Very appropriate for a book.
And there's the last one. it was much harder to because of the pattern on it. It was so much harder to make photos of it or to make videos with it. But this surface, the front cover is just stunning. I well, you can see the back cover. You can only guess. But anyway, it's Jean Echenot, L'équipe malaise, and yeah, stamped cover once again, orange and red, and then some foil stamping, and yeah. So that's it for the. That's not it for the exhibition because I think it's only half of the books or maybe even less. That's just all I made photos and videos of and that we had time to share with you today because we want to switch to some other topics as well. But still, I guess it makes an impression. And once again, if you're in Paris or nearby, or if you have a chance to visit Paris, there are lots of interesting things to see and lots of exhibitions, and that's definitely one of them.
And what about Louise herself? She's not based in Paris, right? She's in Belgium now.
Yeah, she's in Belgium. Let me switch off the screen sharing, and I will be able to show the catalog then a bit larger. So here we are. The catalog itself is quite beautiful, and I like how it sort of follows the patterns of bindings, and there is a stamp down below inside the front cover, and what else? Yeah, got it signed. Yeah, Louise works in Belgium since 2005 or something like that, and here is another photo of some of the book boxes.
In an even more architectural arrangement. The first one was very,
yeah, and you can order the catalog. There are, well, usually you want to have even more. There are never enough illustrations in the catalog, but this catalog is made quite nicely, and for each books, some of the detail is shown, and well, obviously there is the book standing each time, and you can see now some of the books that I didn't show you today, but beautiful catalog.
Another thing that we talked about on our Holiday podcast, documenting the bindings is really important, and also clearly in this case a good commercial move.
Yeah. So the catalog is available. You can reach out to Librairie Métamorphoses. The catalog is 30 euros. You can walk in and just buy it for 30 euros. For shipping to Europe, it's something like 20 euros and 30 euros outside. So for our viewers from the United States or from Australia or from any other country outside of European Union, it will be 60 euros total. And shipping to France is a bit cheaper. I don't remember how much, but it's definitely. If you are interested in bookbinding, in fine binding catalogs, it's definitely something you'd like to have. It's beautifully made. Photos are really nice, and a lot of work is done. Even while it's all in French, well, automatic translation works.
You can even point as a phone at a book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not literature. Those kind of technical details get translated really well, and not
well. With bookbinding, there are some issues. I just checked earlier today. There are some issues with bookbinding some of the terms or some of the special
At least
words.
it's a bit better with French than it is with Dutch, because some of the books you brought me,
Yeah.
then it's older version of Dutch, but
Yeah.
sometimes I pointed it just gives you an utter rubbish. I mean, neural networks tend to generate better text than those kind of translations are.
So we got a comment on Facebook from Modesta Bunrostro. Wonderful, and I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Hi Modesta. Nice to see you in the comments and among our viewers. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and I guess it will make me finally to crawl out of my den and to visit more exhibitions. Oh, by the way, we just got the news that we will probably get our car soon, so we will have a chance to.
Weren't you supposed to get it in November?
In September. In September.
In
Yeah,
September,
but as you probably know, there is a crisis of
everything,
electronics and microconductor or something in the world right now, and even cars are affected because, well, obviously in each car there is a computer nowadays and a lot of PCBs and all that stuff. So yeah, our car was delayed for well, our car is delayed even more, so we had to choose a different car. I'm sorry for this, how would you call it?
Stuff.
Personal stuff, yeah. But they told us that, well, your car will be delivered in March. So half a year later than it was supposed to be delivered.
So what are your first plans in terms of exhibitions?
We get it in 2 days. We go to we fly to Moscow. So our plans have to wait until January, but then we will probably get it right before we get our third dose of vaccine. So we will probably be able to drive to the vaccination point. At least that. Yeah. So let's move to the teaser of the holiday special, and I hope our guests, our viewers, will stay with us because there are some interesting things discussed there as well, and we have several very interesting guests there. Kate Holland, Mark Cockram, and Richard Minsky joined us for this recording of holiday special, and we will publish it somewhere after 20th of December or something like that. It should be ready by then, and it's 2 hour long. I'm not even sure if we should publish it in 2 parts or in a single part. I guess we'll discuss that with Pavel, because I think 2 hours it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably we'll split it for Christmas and for New Year's Eve or something, or I don't know. Because, well, Hanukkah already passed, so it's a bit late for posting for Hanukkah. There are other holidays as well, obviously, but well, we'll see how it goes. And I need to...
and I have to say it was real fun. We discussed some serious stuff, but all the way I enjoyed our dialogues, and even with 3 guests, you could kind of feel the presence of all 3 of them, and they're all 3 great conversationalists. And some of them you have to stop to remind that other people exist too, but we won't be mentioning that too often.
Yeah, so Pavel, you have the same shirt today as during our recording. That's
what a fail.
That's a fail. At least I have a different T-shirt.
Not like it's the first time you've worn that, you fashion animal.
That's definitely not the first time I worn it. So, yeah, that's iBookBinding's podcast, and we're recording our holiday special edition. I don't know what. So, happy holidays, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah. and everything else that you can be celebrating on any dates in December or early January, because in Russia Christmas is on the 7th of January. In Armenia it's on the 6th, as far as I remember. So yeah, it's a long month, and we celebrate the Old New Year on the 13th of January. So yeah, it's a bit bizarre in Russia. Yeah, but I guess it's just to have a good cause for drinking for 13 days in a row.
It's a long winter. You've got to do something.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to stretch it out a little bit. You know?
Yeah,
stretch it.
Especially as currently in Russia there are something like 10 days off in the beginning of January or something like that. So yeah, you just don't have anything else to do besides drinking. So
unlike other days in Russia, right?
Happy holidays, anyway. So I'm Stepan, as usual. I'm recording from Versailles. Pavel, my co-host, is joining from Moscow. Kate Holland and Mark Cockram join us from the United Kingdom, and Richard Minsky joins us from the United States, from New York. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Nice to see you here. How was it recently and throughout the year?
Who's going to go first?
Mark, you had so many appointments around December, so you are working, teaching, moving around the country, there and back. How's it going?
It's going okay. I just doing a workshop at the wonderful Flatford Mill, which has been absolutely fantastic. A little cold. See, the buildings were built in about 1600, that sort of thing. There's big gaps, the woodwork's falling away, the plasterwork, the wattle and daub. I mean, it's not primitive, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit cold. I don't like that. But, thermal underwear, I'm fine. And copious cups of warm coffee is fine. Actually, I wish I could be drinking wine now. But yeah, that's fine. And it's been really cool. It's a great end to the year. I'm looking forward to the new year, as I'm sure everybody is, of course. And it's been great. All in all, it's been an all right year, in a nutshell.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Kate?
It's been crazy busy up till about 2 weeks ago. And now it's like, I can relax. But actually, I can't relax because I'm thinking, I've got this commission and this development and this. So I'm working actually with my son on looking at and introducing some technology into some books. So that's quite exciting. And we did the Booker, both Mark and I just did the Booker Prize. So that was frantic, get health leather, get it all ready in time.
Yeah, and we had to get work in for an exhibition at the same time as well.
Same day, hand in. Nice timing, guys.
Yeah, cool. No clash there then.
Perfect.
But, we did it.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
I've been just discussing with another person that I sort of started tuning myself to this vacation vibe or something, because we plan to go to Moscow somewhere on 20th or 23rd, something like that. We are getting our third shot on the 17th of December because Emmanuel Macron just announced that French people and people residing in France can finally start getting their third shot. So we registered right away, and it wasn't easy, but it was fun. So I sort of already tuning into this vacation holiday vibe, and I hope there will be not as much work moving forward. So Richard, how is it on your side of the ocean?
I don't know, the last couple of years, it always seemed to be Friday. So the weeks kind of flew by in a very strange way. The good news was that in November, I was granted the patent on my pop-up display apparatus. So now I can make the boxes that they close on your book, and when they open, the book is on a display easel. And that's exciting because when I finish the commissions that are now in the shop and a book that I'm producing of another artist's work, can get to work selling the patent to manufacturers and maybe have some IP income.
Is that your first patent? How does that work?
Yeah, it's my first one.
Congratulations!
You couldn't even do that. So.
It's complicated.
What's the complicated process? Do you need to prove something?
Yeah, you have to apply, and you have to make claims that you have an original invention. There's different kinds of patents. This is actually a utility patent. It's not just a design patent for something to look like something. This is for the actual mechanism that causes the box to open and the display to rise up. And you have to specify everything, and you have to make claims. So I made 20 claims, and all of them were granted, and you have to provide drawings that provide a very clear representation of what it is that you are claiming, so that anybody who is in your field can make it. And it's supposed to be obvious from your drawings and your explanation how this thing works. So that took a while.
Well, congrats.
Cool.
Even merrier this holiday season. So yeah, that's how it went. A very cheerful, as you can see, holiday special episode. There was a lot of different stuff we talked about after that, about some projects, about future plans. Kate stayed with us for a half of the recording, maybe a bit less. She had to go after that, but we continued our talk with Mark and Richard, and discussed quite a lot of stuff. And Mark definitely gets an award for the best setup and celebratory mood.
I'm kind of envious of him, because last year my whole balcony was decorated with lamps, and this time we went a bit early for Christmas decorations for me. But...
yeah, that's true. So I hope you will catch it. You will watch this episode in a couple of weeks when we post it. Well, there are many other things we're publishing nowadays. We're publishing 2 episodes of our podcast or something like that every week, or even more. So a lot of work is done, and we're glad to have our new editor, Katya Lishiner, and many thanks to her for her amazing work with the recent episodes. And our previous editor had to leave our project, but we're lucky to find a new one who is good and willing to do all the best work for our project. But anyway, if you like our podcast, please consider at least subscribing and sharing and commenting, and I don't know, sending the link to your friends. But we would be even happier if you can support us on Patreon, because once again, this allows us to pay for editing of the videos, and in the future we hope to add more content with bookish people from all over the world, and this means we need to do translation work and all that stuff. Even now with our first episodes of French and Spanish versions of our podcast, we had to invest quite a lot into translating the subtitles so that English-speaking viewers can watch these videos, and that's a tricky process. So please join the crowd. And Pavel, should we talk about the news just a bit? How should we proceed?
Do we have time? I think I can go pretty quickly.
Yeah, we finally have time for the news. Hooray!
So our setup today for these purposes is a bit experimental, so we'll see how it goes. Can you see what I'm showing.
Yeah, find books for sale, medieval
Yeah,
editions, Girdle.
and it looks, and the quality of the image
Yeah, it's
seems
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I see the same screen in two places with a certain time lag. So if my eyes start crossing, tell me about that.
Yeah. Do we
Okay.
have the links in our script so that I can
we have it all.
Okay.
This is one of the more exciting news. It's at least for me. We've been following Girdle books in the various implementations for a while, but we haven't yet seen this one, and it was on sale. Okay, it did cost. The estimate was 10 to 20,000 pounds. It sold for almost 100. So again, a bit outside our price range, but perhaps for a library, not that expensive. So this is an image of. This is a small extract from it, and here you can see it a bit bigger. And when I saw the news, I thought, now that doesn't look like a Girdle book. I wonder what it looks in its entirety. So I went to the auction houses page, and here's what I found. I really like how the page is made. There are lots of photos. There's a very good description, although it's a bit optimistic in some regards, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so here it is. Here's how it works. First of all, while looking at it, try imagining how big it is, because it's not immediately obvious. Just guess. Yeah, perhaps even smaller. I'll show you. It's an interesting thing, and just look at how engineered, or perhaps even over-engineered it is. I like how it. So it's not a book how we usually imagine it. You can't just live through it. It's more like one of those child books where there is a whole quest finding where a certain character is hidden behind which corner, etc. And it goes like this. It's a medical manuscript, so it was used by a surgeon, by a traveling surgeon, almost certainly, because of the size and because of what surgeons were at the time. Because doctors, like university-educated doctors, didn't really do any operations. They mostly looked at vials of your, I don't know the good word for it, so I say piss. Yeah, and saying what's wrong.
Urine?
Urine, yeah, thank you. I should have thought about a Latin root. So here it goes. Here's another one, and another one. And at some point we'll get to the details. Yeah. So it's very professionally made, probably in France or Germany. I forget. Probably Germany. Yeah. 15th century or thereabout, with some initials and even some illuminations. Yeah. Here it is. Here's an interesting one. Not something you'd expect to encounter in a medical book, but then medicine, astrology. You know, you need to get rid of your black bile when Saturn is encroaching on your left arm or something like that. You know, so there are phases of the moon and everything, and there's more of it. This is something about eclipses, and here's the best bit. The one big illustration. I think there will be. Won't there be a bigger?
Nope. That's just the back cover.
No. Yeah. Maybe I can go closer. I think I can. Yeah. Here it is. So it says it's about what exactly influences different parts of your body. And you can see some zodiac symbols. Here's Cancer. Here's the bull, and I don't know the English names of those. Here's a Capricorn. Here are the twins, Gemini, etc. Here are the fishes, future.
Pesses, or how Pesses or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know why people are supposed still to know that. I mean, astrology, seriously.
Well, there are a lot of people really into this stuff. So.
I know. So I imagine modern manuscripts should contain the same sort of images with 4-letter abbreviations, like your arm is IFTP, your head is so extroverted, etc. So so this is a traveling surgeon's, a traveling doctor's manuscript, and only for $100,000. Who knew? Which is especially surprising considering how few of these.
How rare, yeah.
Yes. As far as I know, there are 25 Girdle books at most, all over the world, combined 25 at most. At the same time, I saw an article collecting depictions of Girdle books in manuscripts and paintings, and there are at least 150. And no one ever counted how many of them are on the sculptures, because you go to basically any cathedral and you'll find a saint or a monk with a Girdle book on his side. So they were extremely well spread, but they were used. This is not a library book. This is something you have on you all the time. So I presume many of those girdles themselves disintegrated, and books were rebound
or recycled.
Yeah. But then I've never heard of a book in a library collection that would have been proven to be modified from a Girdle book variant into a normal binding. So maybe it's under research, maybe it's that rare, maybe they were all just used to bits. So speaking of other books, I know of only one other Girdle book looking like this. You remember when we first encountered this news, we both thought that it's not even the same sort of Girdle book as all the others. But then I looked through my notes, and I found another one, probably from the same bookshop, certainly from the same scientific milieu. So here it is. I mean, it's basically the same thing. And now you can see how small they are.
So it's a palm size or something.
So it's not a handheld manuscript, it's a palm-held manuscript.
Yeah. Pocket book.
Not that there were pockets.
Pocket Girdle book.
From what I remember, pockets appear later, and even then pockets are not an integral part of clothes. Pockets are like small bags that you attach to your belt.
Belt,
so it's centuries before pockets, and here we have a pocket book, a pocket Girdle.
Centuries of pocket innovation.
Yeah. So
when I hear the word pocket, I all the time I remember the story by Stephen Fry, how John Rowling sort of teased him or even bullied him just a bit by placing a lot of word pairs, pocketed it into Harry Potter, because he complained once to her, and then he told at some moment that she probably started placing this word pairing in every place she could.
I wouldn't mind to have pocketed it. I mean, this one. So you'll probably agree that it's very similar to the one we've just seen, both in terms of composition and in technical terms, and in what it depicts. But this one is a male version. But I checked, and in terms of zodiac signs, male and female genitalia, say, are controlled by the same celestial creatures.
By what, by the way?
I don't know what that is, by the way. No idea. So, just to remind our viewers what a regular, the more widespread Girdle books looks like. Yeah, here are some examples. By the way, Girdle books seem to date to at least 13th century. There is no documentation, no mention. They're never mentioned in wheels or inventories. But and even worse, the oldest one that we have surviving is from the 15th century. So we have at least 200 years of history missing, but they mostly look like this. So it's a book with a piece of leather continuing
with a hood of sorts. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If you open it, the hood opens too. So, but you can attach it to your clothes or to your bag or anything, and we'll get to here. Here it is. Here's how it looks in an open state, and you can see that even these well-preserved ones are mangled.
So as far as I remember, you put it on your belt upside down. It's placed upside down, and then you can read it like shown in this photo.
I don't think you can read it.
Or you have to take it out of.
Okay. Yeah. You should probably see it first, because otherwise I don't know how you'd use it. But yes, this is how they look on all the illustrations. Some of them could be of very impressive quality. This is clearly a Nuremberg example, judging from the metal bits. It's the same kind of workshop would have produced this, that would make individual details for mechanical clocks. And this is the origin of mechanization. This is where our modern world starts, with these kind of ornaments. They get smaller, they get more detailed, they get more precise, then they start to be used in mechanisms, they get even smaller, and we get to the modern age. But this is where it starts. And it's a really nice one. I like it. And another example, again, you can see that they range in quality. Of course, any book was an expensive object back then, but some.
Well, even nowadays, I wouldn't say fine bindings, but the unique and handmade bindings range in quality quite a lot. And some of the handmade bindings, which are priced not very cheaply, are not of great quality. So and I see it on Facebook. There is a market for these books as well, and there are people who I just saw some binding of Dune by Frank Herbert, and it was a leather binding. But well, if you use leather, try better, I guess. Or I don't know what. So yeah, sorry for this intervention once again, but there is definitely difference in quality. Even if you pay a lot of money, that doesn't always mean that you get the quality.
And this is probably a good example to mention that they were not all medical books. In fact, I could only find 3 medical books, and the rest of them could be anything. Of course, there are
Prayer books.
manuscript for personal devotion, yeah, mostly psalters, manuscripts for use in church for choirs. There is a breviary, there are many entertainment value things, and this one I think is a French romance. There are a few poems in this list, so anything you were gonna carry while traveling, I assume pilgrims were using those too, traveling salesmen, all sorts of people. But frankly, we don't really know.
You didn't really have nice backpacks until the first half of the 20th century, or even middle of the 20th century, because the backpacks, military backpacks, were awful during the First World War, and even I guess during the Second World War as well. So you just had to put all your stuff on yourself, and then you have a sort of bag or something, and yeah, obviously
probably on a stick. Yeah. We know the image. So now this was the piece of news about Girdle book, £100,000 Girdle book. But if you have a bit more spare change than that, you can buy this house. And yes, I am showing you a piece of news from Country Life magazine. Bear with me. A £7 million house in Salisbury, which has an amazing library attached to it, with some 20,000 books, plus a collection of a collection of rare printed material and other ephemera collected by the most recent.
I should probably add that the article you showed you are showing us currently is from 2017, but the news that the house is on sale is more recent. It's from this autumn. I'm not sure if somebody already bought it. I don't think so. It's usually doesn't go that fast. So you probably still have a chance. And the news is pretty recent. And I think
they put out an article on it about once a year. So probably it's not that easy to sell a house like that.
Yeah. And in some more recent articles, they cite that there are 20,000 books, not 18,000. But anyway. Who counts?
Yeah. And that's a few $100 per book, and you get a great tulip
and the house. Yeah. And some area
pond and a few acres of land and probably a title. I don't know how it works, but probably something like that. So that's an interesting idea. If you don't want to make your own library collection, you can buy one with a house.
This works. This definitely works.
So to scale down a bit, another piece of news. A few fragments of 12th century romances have been found recently, and by found I mean
uncovered.
They were uncovered. Why can't I find it? Just a second. Yeah. What? No, it used to work. Oh, okay, but you can probably see it anyway. So
you can at least zoom in, I guess. It wouldn't be the perfect quality, but at least it wouldn't be as small as it is right now, because it just occupies a smallest portion.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, so literally uncovered.
Yeah, so It happens every so often.
Yeah.
Every library has a project looking at the old dilapidated bindings, and one of the first things that you do if you are a conservator, you look what was used to enforce the binding inside.
To line
Because
the spines under the end leaves anywhere. Yeah.
so you can see that it is a printed book, but what was used to enforce it, reinforce it.
So was it vellum or something?
Parchment, yeah. This is why it's used, because parchment is very durable.
And lots and lots of manuscripts were recycled this way during the early years of printing, during the time of incunables, and some of these manuscripts are considered pretty valuable nowadays.
Oh yes. I mean, you can count on your two hands complete books that we have from, say, 7th century, but at least 12 leaves from the best scribes and from the best scribes and illuminators of the time were found inside bindings, and not as in this case as small scraps, because often the full page was used to cover the book before putting more leather outside. So this is not rare to find something inside a binding, but what is rare is to find an unknown text, or in this case, a piece of known text that was only known about, that was known to have existed. And I really like what it is about. It's about a medieval siege at the time of Charlemagne's son. So this is Louis the Pious, and if the church calls a king the Pious, it's probably because he wasn't very good at his job. So in this particular case, his allies are asking him to send people to help defend a city, and he talks to his wife, and his wife says, "Well, it's a religious holiday. We're not supposed to take part in the war. It's not good for us, our poor warriors, etc., etc." Louis the Pious agrees, and the author of one of the characters of this story calls the wife, and let me quote, Puterusse, or red-headed puta, if you know Spanish. So there's that. So if you happen to have an old binding, look inside.
Just check. Just check it.
Just check. And finally, a piece of news from a completely different part of the world. A few months back, recent additions to Uzbekistan cultural legacy of Uzbekistan website was announced. In particular, they paid attention to these amazing medieval Islamic astronomic manuscripts. And again, this is a whole class of literature and of illumination that exists in all over the Islamic world, but especially in Uzbekistan, because of course Uzbekistan and its cities of Bukhara, Fergana, etc., they've been, if not the birthplace, then certainly the heart of medieval astronomy for centuries. Most of what we know about ancient Greek astronomy comes to us through translations in Islamic world. More importantly, they built new observatories. The oldest astronomical observatories that still survives in any kind of shape is in Uzbekistan, and Bukhara and Samarkand produced hundreds and hundreds of illuminated manuscripts, and they were both beautiful and useful. They usually contain tables of positions of stars, and they almost always have these wonderful illustrations of constellations. I couldn't possibly tell you what this constellation is, but it is stunning. So they had some constellations that that look the same as ours, but most of these, what's that? I don't know, but I like it. And more and more. Just let me leave through.
Yeah.
There are just 2 stars, but there's a great drawing. It looks like an ancient Egyptian Anubis figurine. The snakes. Now those are having fun.
Obviously.
This is constellation of Orion the Hunter. This one I know, and as usual, you can see what we call Orion's sword. And my teacher always said, sword, just below the belt. Ursa Major, the great bear, bear-ish creature. I mean, there aren't bears in Uzbekistan. The closest ones are probably in the Pamir and well to the north in the Russian steppes. So probably no. That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's probably a Capricorn. I don't know what it is. What's that aggressive little creature called that stings with your tail? Scorpion.
Scorpion, yeah.
And so that's probably what it's. And it has 8 legs. Is that anatomically correct? I'm not sure.
That should be a spider. In that case.
But this is certainly not anatomically correct. Maybe yes, but you can see Chinese influence because, of course, Uzbekistan and its great cities are part of the Silk Road network. Yeah, and it doesn't take much to see the influence. Here are the Gemini. They're dancing and they're not looking at each other. That reminds me of many twins I know. I mean, they come together to a party and immediately go separate ways. Just not to be confused, I presume. And what those are, I have no idea. Quadruplets, quadruples, double twins. And what's the gender? The ones on the left seem to be naked. No, they're not naked. They're wearing something very tight. So and on it goes and on it goes. Another thing I wanted to show you is
I posted a couple of links. So if you want to check it on your own, please follow the link and.
You should look at their website. It has lots of arts and crafts from Uzbekistan, not just manuscript, but the page on 100 outstanding manuscripts is exactly that, outstanding. They have one of the earliest Qurans in existence, and you can see that by the very characteristic script. We should probably talk about earlier Quranic scripts at some moment, because it's really interesting.
Well, we plan to talk about the earliest printed Qurans, and we can sort of join these topics, or make a two-parter or something like that.
Yeah, because the interesting thing is you can't analyze this Islamic scripts the way you analyze the European ones, because often a paleographer would look at the European manuscript and date it within a decade, and you just can't do that. Perhaps you can, but at least for now, the technique is not that developed, because the things that paleographers are used to look at just aren't there. They are so similar, but some new developments are coming. Then there are the famous illuminated epics. And it is a very interesting thing that outside Iran and Uzbekistan, historic epics, and northern India for a brief period, historic epics are never illustrated in Islamic world.
Islamic tradition, yeah.
Yeah, you can see why, especially the faces. But in Uzbekistan, there's a great tradition about this.
I have a couple of albums dedicated to this illustrated epics, and I guess we should post about it a bit as well. And yeah, there are some beautiful objects there, images.
And you can see some really rarefied glimpses of Pavel's life, and I also always like to look at what they do with the perspective. I mean, look at this. I don't know what it is. This architectural construction around the prince. It seems that he is separated from the court, as was indeed the tradition. Some rulers were never seen by their people, but we need to see him because he's the center of attention in this manuscript. It was probably presented to him, so we can both see that he's walled off, and we can see him. So that's the. Oh, sure. Timurname. So whatever happens here, it's surely a part of this Indo-European, Aryan, and then later mixing it up with Judaic tradition. So it's both Abrahamic in its imagery and very, very ancient indeed. You can find similar things in pre-Christian India, pre-Judaic India.
Yeah. Almost everywhere.
Yeah.
You can find similar things almost everywhere.
And here you can see the fire around the faces. By the way, almost always, if it's Muhammad depicted, later readers just scrape out the faces and leave the fire. So at the time it was okay, but later on it almost always disappears. And you can see also some echoes of the traditions from the Bible. I mean, it's like the Ecclesiastes, the Apocalypse, the many-headed female with multicolored wings, another beast with a female head, because of course monsters are female and a male is riding her. How could he not? This is the life of Temujin or Chinggis Khan, and what an amazing example of calligraphy this is. And I really like this thing they do, coloring or covering in gold spaces between letters. So the text starts to flow. It's both linear and yet you can it sort of moves. A very interesting thing to do. More of those palace
Well,
scenes.
there is 100 of outstanding manuscripts there.
So these are the one they highlight, but I highly recommend looking through the whole collection. There's more than 100 actually, but they're like round numbers, I guess. I'm gonna stop my sharing now.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
So we finally weeded down a bit our news backlog. We still have lots and lots. I highly recommend everyone to join our Discord server, where there is a curated stream of news. Yeah.
And I really hope we'll be able to keep up with the news, because there are some really interesting bookish things happening almost all the time, and it's just a pleasure to share this news with you. And well, another interesting video, I hope. Meanwhile, we got a comment on YouTube from Greg Mintz. I just wanted to say thank you for your wonderful YouTube channel. And thank you, Greg, for watching our stream, and I hope following us.
And recommending us to other
bookish people, bookbinding people. So that's our time for today. As usual, hour and a half or just a bit more. And I hope you liked today's stream and the topics we discussed. We are going to stream on Christmas Eve, it seems, or not. 14 days from now. No, not Christmas. 22nd of December, 2 days before the Christmas Eve. And this today was the 13th live stream, by the way. Lucky number.
Lucky nothing broke this time.
Yeah. So the 14th stream will be the last live stream of this year, and then we will return in January at some moment. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes, because I think we will still be in Moscow at that moment, and we'll talk with Pavel how we should organize.
And we'll probably visit some exhibitions and bookbinders and artists. So we'll have to talk.
And we can probably stream live from there as well. We'll see. We'll see. We have some ideas, but no concrete plans as of now.
That's the best way to spend your holidays. People, no plans. Highly recommended.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching. If you've been with us for all this time, or if you joined for just a moment, or if you're watching in the future, the recording of our live stream or of any part of it, and please join the crowd, our community on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, and Patreon. And thanks, Pavel, for being here today with me, and see you next time.
Bye.
And as per tradition, we'll stay for a moment until the stream ends everywhere.
And thank you, Stepan, for the video of the exhibition. I was a bit critical looking at the photos. As usual, it looks so much better on video.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly the reason I wanted to. Okay, that's the wrong button. I wanted to show videos. So.
And it's also much more appropriate for a live stream. Yeah, it's better than showing just images. It looks really professional. Bravo.
Yeah. I'll try to keep up with making videos, and I was sure I will make photos this time, and I was considering taking my camera stabilizer with me, and I didn't take it in the end. And then I was so upset I didn't, because it would have been so much better with it. And Well, next time I wouldn't make this mistake. So Facebook stream ended, and YouTube hasn't ended yet. Just a bit more time.
And I've